Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. My name's Shannon and today I'm going to be doing a book series that I need to finish video. Pretty much a pile of shame.
I am so scared of falling down. I just won't climb in the first place.
So the first book I have here is The Shadow Queen by C.J. Redwine. This is the first book in the Ravenspire series, so I read this 2 years ago and I really loved it. So I want to continue the series. I want to know where it goes, and I really like the writing style of this book. I would have to reread this before continuing on in the series, but that is something I am willing to do considering I gave this 5 stars, and I am really looking forward to picking up the rest of the books in this series. The next book I have here is A Sprinkle of Sorcery by Michelle Harrison. So I read A Pinch of Magic last year, loved it, so cute. I love the characters, Fliss, Charlie and Betty, all sisters. I love the magic, the whole um, island or town they're in. I just really loved the first book in this, so I can't wait to read the sequel. And the third book, Tangle of Spells, is out now, so now I can read this and move straight on to the third book, which I am very happy about because I loved the first one. I hope the rest of them are just as good. The next book I have here is Two Dark Reigns by Kendar Blake. This is the third book in the Three Dark Crowns series. I don't even know if that's what the series is called, but we're going with it. I read the first and second book. I gave them both 4 stars, I believe. I do like this series. I like that it's set around three triplets that are all vying for power, and that the POV is split into their three different um kind of like different courts, I would kind of call it. And it's just, I like it. I like the narrative, and there's also a side character that I really like in here, and I'm hoping that she takes more of a main character role in this book. I probably would go back and read the second book, and then no, I would probably go back and read this book before I read the next book, but I would like to finish this series out because I've enjoyed what I have read so far. And the next one is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I read this. What did I read this for? I'm pretty sure I read this for Readathon. I can't remember though. But I read it last year. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I really, really recommend the audiobook. I read and listened, so I think that it's a really good audiobook in my opinion, but I am intrigued of the story. I love paranormal, I love ghosts, I love like the spooky side of things. So I do hope that the other books, the other 3 books in this series, are more spooky and more atmospheric. I also love that it's set in 1920s because a flapper at heart. But yeah, I hope that the rest of the series just gets creepier as it goes on, and I have high hopes because a lot of people love this series. So. The next book is These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. So I read this. I gave it 4 stars. I wasn't blown away. I think I gave it 4 stars. I wasn't blown away by it, but I do enjoy witches, and as I said, paranormal. So I did like the plot line, and I like that it's a female-female romance. I just hope that the sequel has more of a witch aspect to it instead of this did have a witch aspect to it, but I felt like the magic system just wasn't explained enough for me to fully enjoy it. So I hope the sequel explains the magic system, and I hope we again follow a female-female relationship. So I'm ill, but it's fine because I'm gonna get all these recordings done so I can go back to my bed and be miserable and read. So the next book I have is A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kemmerer. I always get that name wrong, but I do love this author. This is the third and final book in the A Curse So Deep and Lonely series trilogy. I enjoyed the first one and the second one, so now I just need to close this series off by finishing the third one, and I can't wait to join Gray and Ren and Harper and see where their story ends. The next one is Hidden Bodies by Caroline Kepnis. I read you, I loved you, I watched the TV show, Joe's a creepy fucker, I live for it. So now I need to read the sequel and see how much creepier it gets. I do know that there's a third book that just came out, and I have no idea if that follows the same characters or not. But I do know that this one still follows Joe, and I would like to read this and the sequel, the third book, before the next season of the TV show comes out on Netflix, so I can be all caught up. The next book I have here is Ever After Happy by, oh my god, Anna Todd. So I read After, and I hated it. And then I read the sequel and I hated that too. And then I read the third book and I hated that too. You might wonder why I'm putting myself through all of this. And it's because even though I'm not a fan of the books, I know they're toxic. They're not a great relationship to follow, Hardin and Tessa. They, like, the writing isn't even that good. But for some strange reason, I enjoy this. I do not know what it is I enjoy about it. I just enjoy it. And so far, I have read the book and watched the movies as they have been released. So I'd like to continue doing that because the movies are so much better than the books for a change. But I just want to finish the series. Like, I can't tell you why. I can't tell you why I enjoy this in some small way. I can tell you that they are utter trash, and I will be keep reading them. Meh. They're also a fun time though. Like, they're really quick and they're like really dramatic. So they do their thing. They're just not that good books. Alright, I will be finishing it. The next book here is The Toll by Neil Schusterman. Read Scythe, loved Scythe. Read Thunderhead, loved it. Thunderhead's probably my favourite so far. I need to finish off this trilogy with The Toll, and then I can call it a day. I picked this up once, but I got distracted, so I have not read it yet. But I do want to read it so I can close off this trilogy and see what happens to the characters in the end. The next book I have here is Supernova by Marissa Mayer. I have read Renegades and Arch Enemies. I've enjoyed both of them. I have tried to read this book 3 times and it is just not happening for me. I don't know what it is. If it's because I left it too long, if it's because I just am intimidated by finishing this chunker of a book. I don't know what it is, but every time I pick this up, I get about 50 pages through and then I just stop reading. So I'm going to give it one more chance. If I can't get through it, then I'm just going to have to call it quits on this trilogy, which sucks because I did enjoy the first 2 books, but I am not going to force myself to read something that I'm just not having a good time with. Like the After series, I'm not forcing myself to read something I don't like because I am still having a good time with it. So even though I don't like it, I am still enjoying myself. Whereas this, if I forced myself to read this, I would be forcing myself to read it for the sake of finishing the trilogy, not because I'm enjoying it. So I'm gonna give this one more try, and I'm gonna hope it sticks this time so I can finish out the trilogy. The next book is Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. I have this lovely edition from Fairy Lou. I got this by the wonderful Sephi at Sephi Reads, and I want to read this. I read the first book this year, so a bit late to the game, but I was really worried picking this series up because I have, give or take, with Cassandra Clare, love the Infernal Devices, enjoyed the Mortal Instruments, really enjoyed Chain of Gold, so now that I know that I enjoyed the first one, I'm not as hesitant to pick up the sequel anymore. I actually want to pick up the sequel because I need to know what happens to Cordelia. I need to know what kind of shit she gets herself into in this book. So this is like a top priority for me because I need to know what happens. The next book here is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Maherin. I read this year. I read this. What did I read this for? I read this for Bookoblathon, and I actually really loved it. You know that. Um, I think I gave it 4 stars. But I just really loved the characters and the storyline, and I need to know what happens. Blood and Honey is out, and God and Monsters comes out later this year, so I plan on buying both of them at the same time and binging my way through the second and third book of this series because they're very easy reads, and I just flew through this in like a day, so I need to know what happens, and I can't wait to pick up the sequels for this book. And the final book I have here, the most shameful book that I have here, is Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. So I am a huge Sarah J. Maas fan, but I feel like a fraud saying that because I'm a huge fan based on the ACOTAR series, the Court of Thorns and Roses series, um, and Crescent City. So I feel like I'm I feel like I'm being a bit fake saying that I'm a huge fan when I literally haven't read a huge chunk of her work, but I will read this. I think I need to go back to Air of Fire, I believe, um, and read from there again. This is the book that I got up to the last time I read it, but I think I would need to go back to Air of Fire, which I believe is the third book, and read my way up again so I can go into the books that I haven't read yet with the knowledge that I need. So this is a mission for me to complete this series. So I can still say that I'm a huge Sarah J. Maas fan. Again, it doesn't really matter if I like or hate this series or love this series because I'm always going to be a huge fan because of Akatar, which is up there, you can't see. So, but I do want to give this the good old try. So I am going to read these. I did enjoy them when I read them. I am excited to have more Sarah J. Maas, but all of these books are really quite big and they're an investment, which I think scares me. But I hope that they will be fun, fast paced reads once I pick them up again. So that is it for all of the series that I am in the middle of reading. There is a lot here. A lot of them I will hopefully close out by the end of the year. That's a lot of optimism for future Shannon, but hopefully I will finish some of them this year um, so I can start more. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below what series you want to finish in 2021. Subscribe, like, do your thing, and I will see you next time. Stay safe, stay brilliant. Bye.
Pack up my summer in a Ziploc bag. Old maps and tchotchkes, photographs at this and that. I'll write myself a letter so that I'll remember